What's up, MMA fans? Back to do another video. The second quarter of 2010 is here, and it's a good time for a new prospects video. A few things before we get into this clip. Recently, I've been getting quite a few names from some of the viewers, and it's getting close to time for another edition of the Viewers' Choice Picks. Like I said, I've received lots of great names, so if you got some fighters you'd like to give a shout out to or like to see them on the Viewer's Choice third volume, get those names to me and I'll make sure they get included in the mix. Another few things I want to hit on. A large amount of fighters that have been named in the prospects videos have made it to some of the major organizations, the UFC, Bellator, Dream, Strikeforce, and whatnot. Such as Lombard, Marlon Sandro, Cali Laff, Rory McDonald, Alexander Gustafsson, to name a few. I'd like to get some feedback from the viewers, some of their thoughts on some of the fighters that have gone through and fought. Some have had success, some haven't had much success, but nonetheless they've all stepped up and got their shot. Now, in my videos in the past, some prospects are big prospects, promising prospects. There's other fellas that I've put in the videos that maybe they're not going to be the next big star, but nonetheless they are entertaining and quality fighters, and that's going to be the topic of this video set. Not all the guys in there are going to be top level prospects, but entertaining fighters nonetheless. So with further ado, let's begin. First guy I'm going to talk about is a heavyweight fighter, and again, anybody who's watched my videos knows that I'm always looking for heavyweight talent. Some of the guys that I've put in there, such as Travis Brown, Chad Corvin, the alternate heavyweights video I put out. Not all those fellas are top level fighters, but any decent heavyweight that's fairly promising, I like to put them in the mix. So the guy I'm going to mention there, his name is Tony Johnson Jr. He's 23 years old, 6'1", 265 pounds, 4-0, 2 knockouts, 2 submissions. Trains at an American Top Team. Recently defeated Tony Lopez, the King of the Cage heavyweight champ, and Tony Lopez was on a 16-fight win streak. So it's a pretty significant victory for Johnson. He's only been training MMA for a year and a half. He once weighed 365 pounds. Now, he doesn't really have the physique you would think a top-level fighter would have, and by no means is he a top-level fighter yet, but tremendous athlete. When he was in high school, he ran a 4.5 40-yard dash, which is pretty amazing. At that time, he was 240 pounds. He once weighed 365, like I mentioned, and at 320 pounds in university, he ran a 4.7 40-yard dash, which is pretty amazing. As noted, very, very strong wrestler, tremendous wrestling skills, and tremendous hand speed for a fighter his size. Wrestling pedigree, he started wrestling at the age of 6. He won 6 national amateur titles, 1 world title. He also wrestled at Iowa State and had been listed as one of the top prospect wrestlers in college. But he had to drop out of college when his wife got pregnant. He did actually get a recent Olympic invite to try out for the U.S. Olympic team. He trains with Todd Duffy, Antonio Silva, Thiago Silva are some of his main training partners, and apparently he can take them all down at will. Like I mentioned, he doesn't have the great physique. He's kind of in the Cole Conrad category. But this guy has got huge speed, huge size, huge strength, good hands, good power, good ground and pound, good wrestling, top-level wrestling ability. And if he does get another 2 or 3 wins under his belt, you'll definitely see this guy picked up by a major organization. So a guy to watch out for, Tony Johnson Jr. Next guy I'm going to talk about, his name is Arthur Gustinov. He's a Russian fighter, 7-0, 5 knockouts, 1 submission, 185-pounder. Though he should fight at 170, he's fairly small for 185. He trains out of a Flick Action Force fight team. Now, I don't know a ton about Gustinov. You should check out some of the highlights he has here on YouTube, some of his fights. He got some great kick knockouts. Doesn't look like a powerful fighter, but he throws devastating roundhouse kicks and spinning back kicks, fast hands, and he's actually showing some takedown ability. All the fights I have seen have been against low-level competition, but check out the videos. There's some very entertaining knockouts online on YouTube. The real fight that caught my eye is he has a big win over Russian Magomed Sultanakhmedov, who is a well-known Russian fighter. He has defeated Bruno Carvalho, which in his own right is a prospect I'll probably talk about in the future. Magomed also fought in Dream against Zil Kaleshik, and he also went to distance with Shlemenko. So that was a big win for Gustinov to defeat Magomed, and actually took him down in one unanimous decision. I'm not sure how much we're going to see it at Gustinov. He's kind of a mystery at this point, but we'll see if he steps up against A-level competition. Nonetheless, a very entertaining fighter to watch, so check out some of his highlights, Arthur Gustinov. Next guy I'm going to talk about, and again, this is another fighter that I'm not convinced he's a full-blown mixed martial artist, but he has tremendous striking. Stoic Bekovic. He's a Croatian fighter. 13-3, 9 knockouts, 3 submissions, 6'2", 205 pounds, 28 years old. Big kickboxing background. Very, very dangerous striker. Big KO power. Dangerous kicks and strikes. Check out his highlight reel in my favorite video section on my YouTube page. Some great stuff there. Very high level striker. Great hand speed. None of his submission wins have come over A-level fighters by any means, but he does have a big win over Martin Zawada. He's a very tough German fighter, very tough to KO. And Marko Eric, a big name in Croatia, another guy that he knocked out, and another guy that's very hard to finish. So watch out for Stoic Bekovic. If you want to see some entertaining fights, check out his reels on YouTube. Next guy I'm going to talk about is Vinicius Vinha. He's a Brazilian fighter. 15-1-1, 4 knockouts, 11 submissions, 155-pounder, trains out of Absolute Combat. Believes a jiu-jitsu black belt, boxing background, fights at 155, but apparently has fought at 135 and 145. Brazilian MMA enthusiasts believe it's only a matter of time before he comes to America and to fight in one of the bigger organizations. Tall fighter for the lightweight class. I can't find an exact height on him, but he's definitely legit. Some of the fighters from Brazil, you've seen this with Rony Torres, they have great jiu-jitsu, decent striking, but they lack in wrestling, which really hurts them, you know, in an organization like the UFC. Wrestlers give them big problems. So it'll be interesting to see how Vinha fans out, and if he does have any kind of wrestling ability. Next fighter I'm going to talk about is a guy I've been waiting to fight again for the last year, Valentino Batista Petrescu. 8-0, 5 knockouts, 2 submissions, 205-pound light heavyweight, Italian fighter. Trains out of Sure Grip Vale Tudo with the likes of Ivan Soretti and Staff Economo. Following him for a while, like I said, he was out of action for a year or so, then he recently fought on a card, so I decided to add him to the mix. Back in late 2007, for those of you who closely followed the IFL, Ian Freeman was named coach of what was the British entry into the IFL. He drew garner attention from Ian Freeman, and was a fighter that the British team wanted to add to their IFL contingent. Good striker. Wasn't sure if he had a ground game until I seen his fight with dangerous Swedish striker Andreas Anariskus, where he methodically took him down and won a decision. He also caged very tough London shoot fighter, and forgive me if I pronounce the name wrong, Primoslav